Hi, I'm Jeanette Keynes. I'm the author of Soldering Demystified from Jewelry Arts Inc. in New York City, and I'm here to share a few tips and tricks that are going to help you in your soldering. Okay, now I don't want to freak everybody out, but I'm about to bust the myth of you must heat the entire piece when you solder. What does need to get hot when you're soldering is the entire seam, but that does not mean the entire piece. So, for example, here I've got a little bangle. I've cut some small pieces of medium solder. I'm going to dip them in a little paste flux. Now, I tend not to use flux brushes. I tend to use tweezers just because I admit I sometimes am applying flux when the piece is warm and they melt. So I normally just use my tweezers because I know they're not going to get damaged. So I'm going to put a little flux on the seam. I put a little flux on my solder. And I'm going to put the seam directly on top of my solder. It has to be making good physical contact. If you've ever heated up your solder and flowed and it only is on one side in a little blob, what that means is it was only making contact in one spot. And that's why you get that little blob there rather than it flowing up and filling up the seam. One of the main downsides actually to heating up the whole piece is oxidation. I'm sure many of you have noticed that the longer and the slower you heat the piece, the more it oxidizes. At a certain stage of oxidation, no matter how much heat you apply, the solder's never going to flow. So what I do is I just get my seam hot and fast. Hot and fast are the two most important words to remember. If you do that when you solder, everything is going to suddenly become a lot easier and a lot happier. So I'm all set up. I've got my small piece of solder in contact with both sides of my seam. I've got paste flux. You can use liquid flux also if you want. The paste flux is a little more concentrated and I find that I really like using it quite a bit. As pertains to the hot, I'm going to use a #1 tip. And I'm going to turn it up till I hear a little bit of a hiss. When you're annealing, you know, you use a nice soft, bushy flame, but when you're soldering, you want to use kind of a hard flame like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position my flame straight over my seam, and I'm just going to hold it steady right there until the solder flows. And it's done. And I would be willing to bet that was a lot quicker than a lot of you have been soldering your pieces. If you just dispense with getting the whole piece hot and concentrate instead on getting the seam hot, I guarantee you your soldering is going to go a lot faster and easier. Also, notice how little oxidation I have. Even my seam, everything is still really quite clean because I really didn't give it that much time to get dirty. Less dirty means less pickling, less dirty means less cleanup. It's basically good in every single way.